I'm gonna tell you how South of Midnight is the video game that this industry needs. It is somewhat a breath of fresh air. From its southern charm to its stop motion animation style, it's no secret that the gaming industry is a bit lackluster nowadays and everything seems to be a lot of copy and paste. And don't get me started on the live service games that just seem to come and go. But as for South of Midnight, let's get started on the setting. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the gaming news, reviews, and analysis. In the game South of Midnight, we are placed in a town called Prospero. And this town is actually based in Southern America, and it's all colorful folklore. South of Midnight is inspired by different genres of literature, including Southern Gothic and magic realism, with the adventure said to take place in rural areas. The world setting aims to be an honest reflection of the real-life religion, with a decent sprinkle of magic to bring its storybook ambience to life. So we will be getting some fantasy elements in this game. And let me know down below, do you guys like fantasy games? I feel like a lot of people either really love them or really hate them.
Hey, Hazel.
Who's there?
Up here. You find your mama yet?
We get to play as Hazel, who has taken this role as protector. Compulsion Games describes her as outwardly cowardly and wisecracking, which is an adjective that I have never heard before, to be honest. But Hazel has a complex relationship with her mother and has grown up experiencing multiple failures and societal injustice. Compulsion states to tell the story of a black woman in this setting creates another level of complexity that the team had to meet with curiosity and empathy. Lewis says in the Xbox interview, the approach to this had to start by just having the proper representation on the team. Ensuring that we have black women and women of color on our narrative team is the key for understanding and writing Hazel's voice. Which is really awesome, but you would also think it should be obvious to just do that anyway. But you'd be surprised at how often you have people writing for people who they do not describe themselves as whatsoever. So it's good that they did confirm that that is a priority for them. But it seems as though Hazel stands out because she has many of the same issues as real people have, which is refreshing as she's trying to learn to be a hero. The story follows Hazel as she finds her footing and heads out into the world to make it quote-unquote a better place. In the story, Hazel is in search for her mother, and along her journey she will be meeting all manner of folklore creatures come to life as she navigates the mysterious Southern America.
So, you remember that favor you owe me? I'm looking for a creature. Huge, sneaky.
And it was actually in one of the first trailers that introduces us to a figure known as Shaken Bones, strumming away at his guitar. Hazel then asks about a big creature before using her magic. So she is the heroine of this adventure, and she is said to be on a quest to repair a broken world by putting a stop to supernatural creatures who are all based on real life folklore. So if I'm gonna be honest and real with you guys, the gameplay is honestly the one thing that I've heard the most critique about. The gameplay immediately looks different from any other game just by the stop motion alone. But of course, not everyone wants to play a high-paced action game within this intentionally choppy style. Compulsion has actually confirmed that the stop motion effect can be turned off during gameplay only, but this means that the cinematics and story sequence have stop motion baked in with no option to turn it off, but at least it can be turned off when you're actually playing the game. South of Midnight's gameplay experience is centered around third-person action, where you'll control Hazel through a strangely off-kilter deep south setting. And the gameplay really looks unlike anything that we've seen on the Xbox Series X. You'll be able to wield a series of magical powers, pretty much weaving them together. They built this in the Unreal Engine, so you'll get to explore the engine-made environments and to tackle monstrous enemies with the help of Hazel's weaving hooks and spools as she unravels each foe to discover the echoes of their past. And all of this action reinforces the idea that Hazel is pulling magic threads, pretty much drawing these magical abilities from the world which she inhabits, and she's directly impacting it with every action that she has. And to be honest, that's a really cool and unique concept in a video game. The swamplands are inhabited with monster kings, powerful enemies, and one thing that's crazy is they actually have their own theme songs. These creatures were once born human, each one based on real-life folktale from the southern United States. And Hazel has the opportunity to learn more about why the creatures were cursed to haunt their retrospective biomes. So you will kind of have to keep up with a lot of lore. As previously stated, South of Midnight will be an adventure involving magic and fantasy elements. Hazel, for example, is a weaver who uses what's known as weaving magic, used both for combat and traversal. And these weaver things are said to be figures who can see how the universe is constructed. In one scene actually we can hear in her conversation with the catfish, which confirms that she is actually on the hunt for her lost mother named Ma. And from the other tidbits of the game that we have seen so far is that this isn't going to be the only storyline. Hazel is going to run into more than what she bargained for, pretty much on this heroic quest to save her mother and get rid of the evil seeping through the town of Prospero.
Then you're welcome to try bottling up the pain. But the roots of this trouble go deep.
South of Midnight will land on Xbox Series X and PC, and on the Game Pass Unlimited subscription service on day of release. There's no word on whether or not South of Midnight is going to be on PlayStation, but I don't know if I have any hopes for that as far as right now at least, even as Microsoft Gaming continues to experiment with bringing more of Xbox exclusive games to other platforms. But if it does come on PlayStation 5, I will let you guys know, even if it is on my Monday lives where I talk about game news. Make sure to tune in for that. But whether you're going to like South of Midnight or not, you do have to give credit where credit's due. They are really stepping outside the box when it comes to creativity and differentiating themselves apart from other games. That seems like they don't want to do anything too different in fear of not being able to get a sale. A lot of companies think that if they just make something similar, then people will just automatically love it, and we all know that that's really far from the case. South of Midnight is going to be fairly short, and is coming in at about 12 hours long, and the game will be $39.99 and again on Xbox Game Pass day one. But some short games can actually be really good, mostly indie games. One example I always give is the game Stray. That game was about 5 to 8 hours long, and it was a really good game. But I'm glad to see this game coming out because we really are desperately in need of something different, and hopefully this game will start encouraging other companies to start stepping outside the box, especially if this game does well. But I would love to hear your guys' opinions down below. Are you looking forward to South of Midnight? What do you think about the southern lore and the setting? And I'm really curious to see what you guys have to think about the stop motion elements of the game. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Pause for now, play forever. AK out.